The road to WrestleMania 42 just became far more dangerous and unpredictable for Rhea Ripley, as the latest episode of WWE SmackDown delivered a brutal statement from Jade Cargill that has completely shifted the momentum heading into their highly anticipated championship clash in Las Vegas. What started as a tense face-to-face confrontation quickly spiraled into chaos, leaving Ripley laid out in the ring and sending a clear message that this is no longer just a one-on-one rivalry. This is now a war, and the numbers are not in Ripley's favor. For weeks, the tension between Ripley and Cargill has been building with a sense of inevitability. Ever since Ripley secured her opportunity by conquering the Women's Elimination Chamber on February 28, she has made it clear that she is coming for the WWE Women's Championship with unmatched intensity. That victory wasn't just another milestone in her already dominant career. It was a declaration that the Eradicator is ready to reclaim her place at the very top of the division. Fans rallied behind her, fully aware of the kind of destruction she is capable of when she has a clear target in sight. However, Jade Cargill is not the kind of champion who waits around to be dethroned. From the moment Ripley emerged as the #1 contender, Cargill has approached this rivalry with a calculated and strategic mindset. She understands the threat Ripley poses, not just physically but psychologically. Ripley thrives in chaos, in confrontation, and in proving doubters wrong. So instead of giving her exactly what she wants, Cargill has chosen to flip the script entirely. On SmackDown, when the two finally stood face to face, the atmosphere was electric. Ripley, never one to back down, immediately demanded a fight, ready to throw down right there in the ring. It's the kind of moment fans love, two dominant forces ready to collide without hesitation. But Cargill refused to play into that narrative. Instead of engaging, she turned away, seemingly walking toward the back, creating a moment of confusion that felt almost too calm for the level of animosity between them. That calm didn't last long. As Cargill made her way up the ramp, Ripley followed, still hungry for a fight, and that's when everything changed. Out of nowhere, B-Fab and Michin appeared, blocking Ripley's path. The ambush was immediate and ruthless. In a matter of seconds, Ripley found herself surrounded, outnumbered, and completely caught off guard. What followed was not a competitive exchange. It was a calculated, 3-on-1 beatdown designed to send a message. The assault was relentless. B-Fab and Michin, both of whom had their own history with Jade Cargill, showed no hesitation in aligning themselves with the champion. There was no build-up, no hints, no slow formation of this alliance. It happened instantly, making the moment feel even more shocking. The two women, who had previously stood across the ring from Cargill as opponents, were now fighting alongside her, united by a common purpose: taking out Rhea Ripley. The attack continued. The commentary team struggled to process what was unfolding. Wade Barrett even referred to the trio as the Tormentors, a name that could very well stick if this newly formed faction continues to operate with this level of dominance. Whether it becomes their official identity or not, the name perfectly captured the brutality of the moment. This wasn't just about gaining an advantage, it was about breaking Ripley down physically and mentally before the biggest match of her current run. This wasn't the first sign of this alliance either. Just a week earlier, fans witnessed a surprising moment where what seemed like a simple confrontation turned into another 3-on-1 situation. That incident echoed an earlier brawl from March 20, subtly building a pattern that is now impossible to ignore. Jade Cargill has been assembling her forces quietly, step by step, ensuring that by the time WrestleMania arrives, she won't just be defending her title, she'll be protected by a unit. For Ripley, this changes everything. Up until now, the narrative was simple: two dominant women, one championship, and a collision course at WrestleMania. But with B-Fab and Michin now in the picture, Ripley is no longer walking into a fair fight. She's stepping into a situation where the odds are stacked against her before the bell even rings. And while Ripley has never been afraid of a challenge, this is a different kind of obstacle. This isn't just about strength or skill, it's about survival. The visual of Ripley laid out on SmackDown was powerful. For someone who is usually portrayed as nearly unstoppable, seeing her overwhelmed in such a decisive manner sends a strong message. It shows that even the Eradicator can be taken down when the numbers game comes into play. And that's exactly what makes this storyline so compelling. It introduces vulnerability into Ripley's character without diminishing her strength, creating a sense of urgency heading into WrestleMania. At the same time, it elevates Jade Cargill's position as champion. She's not just relying on her physical dominance anymore. She's evolving into a strategist, someone who understands how to control the narrative and dictate the terms of engagement. By aligning with B-Fab and Michin, she has effectively created a shield around herself, forcing Ripley to rethink her entire approach. Fans have already begun to rally behind Ripley in a big way. There's something inherently compelling about a powerhouse being pushed into a corner, especially when that powerhouse refuses to stay down. Ripley's vow for payback now carries even more weight, because it's no longer just about winning a championship. It's about overcoming the odds, silencing the numbers game, and proving that she can stand tall no matter what is thrown at her. But the big question remains, how will Ripley respond? Will she attempt to take on all three women head-on, embracing the chaos and turning it into her advantage? Or will she look for allies of her own, evening the odds and creating a larger-scale conflict heading into WrestleMania? WWE has a history of building toward explosive multi-person showdowns, and this situation feels like it could evolve into something even bigger than originally planned. There's also the psychological aspect to consider. Being ambushed week after week can wear down even the toughest competitors. The constant threat of a 3-on-1 attack forces Ripley to stay on edge at all times, potentially affecting her preparation and focus. That's exactly the kind of environment Jade Cargill wants to create, one where Ripley is reacting instead of attacking, thinking instead of dominating. And yet, if there's one thing fans know about Rhea Ripley, it's that she thrives under pressure. The closer we get to WrestleMania 42, the more intense this rivalry becomes. Every week adds another layer, another twist, another reason for fans to invest emotionally in the outcome. The introduction of this new faction has taken what was already a highly anticipated match and turned it into one of the most intriguing storylines on the entire card. In many ways, this is what WrestleMania season is all about. It's about raising the stakes, creating moments that feel larger than life, and building rivalries that leave a lasting impact. The clash between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley now has all the elements of a classic: power, pride, strategy, and a deeply personal desire to prove who truly belongs at the top. As the lights of Las Vegas draw closer, one thing is certain. When Ripley steps into the ring to challenge for the WWE Women's Championship, she won't just be facing Jade Cargill. She'll be facing B-Fab, Michin, and the very real possibility that the odds may be too much for even her to overcome. But if history has taught us anything, it's that counting out Rhea Ripley is a mistake. And at WrestleMania, mistakes have consequences.